Oh, goodness is running after, keeps running after me. I think it's better like this was just starting before we start talking about it. I'm gonna come on in. I said it'll be starting at like 12, then people comes in at 12:10. Like, wait, what we doing? Hi, what's going on? The music. Mm, it's like 12 minutes. You wanna turn the radio on now? You wanna wait for the news? Go get the tray, the dish key, and the counter. It's here. Both mics on. Yeah, check, check. Should be, did you connect it? Yeah, you connected one. One, yeah. Both connected. It's going up. Microphone check, 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 check. Yeah, it goes up and you hit it. Okay. Oh, let me connect Miss Arvido. Oh, I'm crying. The golf cart is such a mood right now. Alright, I wanna go golfing. Yo, I really wanna go golfing, y'all. I feel like for my birthday this year, that's what I may do. I may just start becoming like golfing. I don't know. Or for the summer, go to a golf course. I play basketball, soccer when you golf. We're gonna play extreme golfing. Same. Hey everybody.
Top of the morning. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on another one of our podcasts. I just want to be free. And today's
Mm-mm.
greetings, gentlemen. We enter into another afternoon. You're joining us. You're listening to us. You're joining in our live podcast weekdays, 12 p.m. Eastern. I just want to be free. That's the name of our podcast. However, today's topic titled
Parents' rights in education. And we're talking about that because Florida's currently passing a lot of stuff for parents. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So we are here to speak on parents' rights and education. Is it parents' rights in education or parents' rights? Okay, parents'
So
rights
basically,
in education.
sorry. So like I'm saying is basically, you see how basically, we send our kids to school or we homeschool them so we don't get inflicted with ACS, Children's Services. The reason why our kids are supposed to go to school and all this is because if you don't send your child to school, basically your job as a parent, your right as a parent, you're neglecting your child. You get what I'm saying? That's one thing the school enforces. So now the schools and the system is basically going out there and saying, okay, y'all have rights. So let's show y'all how y'all have rights. So one thing that I see going on in Florida is this whole thing about how children should not be taught about sexual orientation and sexual I think gender identity is one of them, because this plays a lot into the role of like transitioning and like trans, and they're saying specifically they feel like it shouldn't be talked about in schools in the age ranges of like kindergarten all the way up to like the age of like 10 or 12, something around there like that. They're not saying we cannot talk about like gay history and we can't talk about LGBT history. We're just saying like this whole thing of teaching kids at a very young age where their parents wouldn't even want to teach them these certain things about sexual identity and sexual orientation and all this and gender identity. Like, leave it for a bigger group. Leave it for the bigger groups of kids. So this is what I'm kind of getting from Florida, and I know a lot of parents are in the agree with it. I know a lot of parents are like, "Oh no, it seems like you're censoring," and like, "Oh no, this is not." I feel like yes, kids know who they are, and you can ask a lot of LGBT who are grown now, like, "Hey, when did you know like you were part of the community?" And a lot of them will say like from a very small age. Just because you know from a very small age that you're part of a certain community doesn't mean you need a bunch of people around you at such a young age, like guiding you into it. You get what I'm saying? Like, for me, I kind of found out I was part of LGBT when I was like at the age of 10. And I'm happy, like, I like came onto it by myself, and I had to like fit the puzzle pieces onto it and like a one and one together and been like, oh, so this is what I am. Like, yeah, it would have been faster if like I knew more about it. You get what I'm saying from like outside, but I feel like it's great. I didn't know a lot about it at that age because kids are curious and all that. So I feel like it should be left at a certain like range. So with parents' rights and education, I feel like if parents don't feel like certain things should be taught, they should like be able to voice their opinion about it. And I know one thing parents are being really talking about a lot is about like their kids learning about maybe sex too young or like the whole spectrum of the sex thing with gender identity and all that. So this is what we here talking about. There's nothing wrong with learning about LGBT and all that, but you shouldn't be in like third grade knowing like Yeah, like you shouldn't be in third grade knowing like how somebody really transitions in all this and like all these like different things out there. Like you're in third grade, you're supposed to be watching your shows, caring about your snacks, caring about your things, like finding who you are, like whoever you like just go and figure that out. Like just leave it at that. Like why am I going to sit down and tell you explain this whole thing I learned in college about sexual orientation and like gender identity? Like why am I telling you this? Like you don't even like why am I telling a third grader like all
It's
these things that somebody who's 17 or 16 would understand way more than somebody who's like 9 or 8. You get what I'm saying?
I understand totally what you're saying, and it's funny we're in totally agreement on this one. That's why I'm so quiet because it's like it just leave me no other option now than to just piggyback on what he's saying because it's I rather having a debate,
Oh no, we're gonna have a debate because
but
they believe.
no, not that you should
Oh, I'm
change.
not changing because there's shows like Disney that put out a lot of gay things and a lot of show a lot of gay presence and LGBT and like a lot of kid shows, and parents don't like that.
I always, even though from the LGBT, I always have to look on a neutral point standing, not just on the inside, but stepping out of the box and looking from the outside. And could be but understand just as how the LGBTQ would love to have acceptance and to tolerate it. I'm quite sure on the other side of the fence now it seems like everything is tossed so everyone pays and take it or else. And I think it should be a thing where a mutual line is drawn, an agreement. I am okay with tolerance, but
I
I don't think it should be like changing the car. I don't believe that the car we grew up on there should be no change a characters and stuff. I would say, leave that
I
for decision making when they get older.
Not really. I feel like yeah, there should be that one character in the show or two characters that are gay, but it's not so known. Like if you really look at them and focus on them, yeah, you can tell they're gay, but to the kid, it's not really something like that's
Why you
pointed
have to
out.
why you have to cartoon why you have to make a gay character why you got to cartoon a gay character? Cartoons are really for kids. Yes, you got adults that watch cartoons, but that at that time they're watching cartoon, it's more of
I feel like it shouldn't be pronounced what the cartoon shouldn't really pronounce the child the character's identity. They should just show it, not really like hold on of the character saying, "Yeah, I'm gay, I'm this, I'm that." Like
wife and
that's
opposite
for
shad
grown
is
adult
in agreement
shows.
with what I'm saying.
I feel like in general there should all there because when I was growing up, y'all remember Sesame Street? There was gay characters up in there, and you really didn't tell. Like the kid really didn't tell. You just be like, okay, they both look like they're buddies. Okay, that's good. They look like they're best friends. Like, yeah, like there's ways you can portray to kids about it, but what I'm saying is you don't directly have to say it out there. I feel like when it comes to shows, I feel like it's good in shows to see like I'm not talking just about a gay show. Like I'm talking about a show that has the straight characters up in it, the gay characters, like everybody's there. It's not just a one point show. I'm not in no favor of just having a kids cartoon or a young teenage show like 12, 11, 10 just be about just gay and all that and like LGBT like strictly and like putting out the notion of it. I feel like no because you still need to ask your parents what you want to watch at the age of like 12, 11, and all that. So a bit no, but I feel like
Okay,
there should be
it's
a gay
like
character in the shows.
okay, we grew up on cartoon like Pink Panther, Popeye. No, Tom and Jerry are normally two male character, cat and a mouse. If they should change that, are you saying they should like in
I said
a bit
new
new
show.
shows?
New shows need to
No,
be
but they
created because they always
no,
make new shows every year. But I'm not saying to make
and
a
that's what I'm
whole.
saying.
I'm not saying to make a whole musical with everybody dancing and all that and being profoundly like that and give that to a three up. a 10-year old or like a 7-year old or a 5-year old. No, I'm saying like have your show focus on the childhood aspect of it. You know, if it's either um like how I'm saying it is basically like
I can understand
gay
um
characters need to be in show, but I'm not saying that they're supposed to
older
be the main role
for movies.
showing
I can
something.
understand for movies, and if you want like Days of Our Life, the soap
That's a
operas
dog. We're
and
talking
stuff
about
for
kid stuff.
exactly. But those, but even kids can watch Days of Our Life because they are PG.
Hold
You have a
on.
child at 13 and stuff what can watch at a certain age can watch those shows. However, what we're talking about is the cartoons where our pre kids are looking. Do you think as a parent it's okay for you to have your child at home coming home and asking you, "Oh, I see this cartoon and such." You as a parent, you want that for you want to be you do you want to be that parent to explaining stuff to your child about
There's ways to have like characters in shows that aren't putting out something. I'm not saying profoundly in a bad way. I'm saying
and
it
would
as,
love to hear your
for
people
example,
side of numbers calling 1-800-944-216 and press option 1.
you don't want to be a third, fourth grader, and the show your kid show or cartoon show is just strictly show. Um, like for example, if if the show is about cars, right, and it's about like animated cars or something, or like animated like planes or something, like each character has their own role, but you see two like male characters, two female characters that's always buddy buddy and like always caring for each other and just always like just close. That's not putting out there to the child like, oh, like they're gay, like this is not. They're just buddies. Like you can get another reference off it. Like, oh, that's like two people could be best friends, like super close, caring, like all that, all that. There's ways of showing it to a child that if you're an adult and you look at it, yeah, you can see it's that. But if a child looks at that, no, it looks like a friendship. It looks like more than that. This is how you're supposed to care when you have a friend. You get what I'm saying?
No, kids aren't stupid. You can't sugarcoat things. I just think it should be left out of a cartoon. I don't see the need for an agenda to. It wasn't needed before, and we are. You have homosexual people and you have heterosexual people, and it wasn't in the cartoon before. What's the need to gay the cartoons for pre-K? What's the need in pre-K school about different sexuality? Elementary school, uh, prime like 4, 5 grade, 6th grade going up, understandable, but a child coming up, pre-K, and that's just my opinion. I mean,
The shows that they're doing now for it is no, but the shows I grew up on, the fact I didn't know there was a gay character in the show. They just didn't outright say that they were gay.
hey Peter, what's up? Um,
I know Ed and Ernie for Sesame Street. Them is just gay. But when you was a kid, you do not know that. You would not get it from it. You wouldn't nothing. You just be like, oh, they're great friends. Like, no, they're roommates, whatever, whatever. One is in one bed, one is in the other bed. A child would not get anything from that. I didn't. And when you grow up and you look into it, then you're like, oh, they're actually the gay characters.
we're here
Okay.
on our live podcast, and the topic today is parents' legalities in and do you think as a parent it's okay for the gay agenda to be taught in preschool?
No, they should not be doing that. We already said that.
I was saying, explain
I
who's
feel like children,
interesting
like
in.
I learned this sexual psychology. Children are sexual. Children, that's why they play nurse with each other and they play doctor. They play mommy and daddy. And they like, let's reenact what our parents really do. Kids are already known to be sexual. I don't feel like you should be up in their face throwing at them like, yes, everything that you're finding out and going through is right, and this A through Z. Like, hold on, you're not 17, you're not 18, you're not even 20. You're like 4 or 5. Like, go back to doing your mommy and doctor and all that and doing and figuring out on your own. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because
Well, that's
kids are gonna figure it out on their own they
eventually.
because when I was a kid, I was doing mommy and doctor. The people who in my school, they was doing that. If you ask Orlando, if you ask anybody else at any other different category, and you ask them for experience, they'll be like, "Yeah, I knew people my age range when I was that age that was doing mommy, doctor, nurse, all that." Yeah. Hey girl, what's up?
Hello.
That's gonna be me tomorrow. Good
Is
morning.
it the day after this?
No, my day off is
Oh, it's
Tuesday and
tomorrow.
Thursday.
Oh, I think it was. Oh, that's why you're wearing. Oh, I thought it was. Yes, but I know
Don't
you're a
drag that
parent.
shit right over
Well, I
there.
found out late that you're a parent. That
Wait. So how old is your child? Or
about 10.
what the
Oh, not just one.
fuck? Wait. So you have 10 or 20 kids? I'm slow. This is how I'm gonna find out your age. And one is 10 and one is 20.
Oh, I saw your post one. I thought it just had. Yeah, I thought. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
They should just be kids.
Yup.
I say at the age of going into like 4, 5, 6th grade, 6, 5 grades, and you want to start breaking, they're going into puberty at that time. So certain things has to be taught. That time is okay now where they can start, learn. But for pre-K, and I don't believe that, and the cartoon, but as a, well, are you saying, that we should ask the kids what they want?
Mm-hmm. Some know.
I mean, I see the point. I see the point where you make there, but growing up, especially my mother,
Hey, this is why
you're a you're a child. You don't have the right to make the decision.
that's toxic parenting. That makes you bad when you grow up.
Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. I
But that's the,
honestly,
no. I think the issue is that we're facing today is we have a lot of
outside forces
we
telling
have a
our
lot of
children,
man and woman and less caring.
yup,
You notice I never even say mother. You notice I didn't even say mother and father because some I don't want to give the title of. I mean, you go through it, but you got your motherhood. So yes, let's put it call a spade a spade. But when you say when it comes to parenting, now it's a different aspect because and we're speaking majority. Majority just have kids and leave them to the school. They use school to get rid of the kids.
that's true.
Kids are being kids are not being parented, but they are being parent because kids have become the parents for the parents and for the siblings. This is what the platform is for.
Mm-hmm.
None of us, none of us can say we are the best parent. There's no book on parenting. Well, you have heard a parent.
Well, I have to agree because there's a lot of outside forces telling your child like stuff. Like you know how many teachers your child come into contact with from the age of like
And those of you who are
first
hearing the
grade
sound
all
of
the
our
way up to
voice
like eighth grade.
out there in media world, if you want to participate, the number to call is 1-800-944-2166. Press extension 2.
Mm. And you have to remember, why should the school really be teaching your kid about sexual identity and gender orientation and all that when the classmates already do that? You get what I'm saying? Like the classmates already know a bunch of information. The classmates, like, you don't gotta learn stuff from a teacher. You can learn stuff from your classmates. Your classmates. Bye. Babu. Let's see one. Let's see one girl. Let's see one. I'm here. J Kingdom, what's up? What's up, everybody? What? No face, no case.
This, we on about with a phone call.
Okay. So yeah, like you were saying. Anyways, so with parent rights, with parent rights, Oh damn! I don't want this over my ear because it's gonna like mess up my hair. I'm put it like this, like if I'm a DJ up in a like DJ thing. Anyways, I feel like in general, there's a bunch of outside forces that's just like coming, teach your child a bunch of information. I feel like the schools just need to keep it simple. Like we're here just to teach you your English, your math, your like common studies. Like maybe if we're doing um financial literacy, like we talk about even better. But like for the most part, what else is there? Like why why are like why is middle school teaching more than just sex education? What is you doing? I understand high school because you know them big kids up in high school they gonna have to learn that and the more of it. And in college, of course, you're basically an adult. Let's learn about the whole sex spectrum and all that. But for a little 6 year old, a little 4 year old, like a 3 year old, like come on now, a 7 year old, like what is you really doing? Like come on now, why are you doing all that? And what I mean by that, the classmates teach it. I remember when I was in school, classmates, there's some people's kids who get to do whatever they want on the computer, internet, whatever, whatever. They bring information in. There's people who are going through a process of finding themselves, transitioning however it may be. There's a bunch of other people around you in your class that are informative and can tell you stuff. You don't have to learn it from a teacher. You can learn it from your classmates. The same way how your classmates can help you with your homework and help you with stuff. It's the same way how, they're gonna come around tell you this, and that. Like, eventually you grow up, you either some of the stuff that they say could be right, some of the stuff could be wrong, however it may be. But I feel like as you go into school should just be you just learning. That's about it. You just learning this basic simple things you need to survive every day. Like reading, how to formulate your sentence, grammar, all that, so on and so forth. Hey, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Because like for me, I was a very curious child. Like they weren't having any sexual orientation talks with us. They were not having any gender identity talks with us from the spans of elementary, middle school. We only had those talks in like college, first of all. The only time I really heard of a teacher talking about gender identity and all that was college. High school, no, like these are the different sexual relationships. You have gay, straight, A through Z. This is how you protect yourself. This is what STDs and this is higher for these partners compared to these partners. That's what I learned in high school, and that was about it. I ain't learned about no identity and no um like went into deep like into the sexual orientation. It was just like if you're this, you're that. These are your chances of catching these STDs and all that. This is how you prevent them. This is what you would use, so on and so forth. So before all that, there was no conversation about sex ed before high school. There was no conversation about gender identity. There was no conversation about sexual orientation. So why would it be important now? Because I found out on the age of 10, like, in the back of my head, I was making everything click. I was like, you know what? I like boys. I didn't have no teacher helping me, telling me and putting in my head that I was gay. I just found it out on my own. That's about it. Children are smart. You don't need a whole adult from the government telling your kid stuff. Your kid gonna find it out on their own when the time is right. They don't need to rush anything. And parents don't send their kid to school to be learning certain things. So everybody needs to be respectful. Like parents have rights. Um, I'll say not only just that, I'll say in general, like let them live their childhood. Like, damn, you don't get your childhood every single like you don't only get one childhood. Why you gonna force your kid or force someone's kid out of a childhood state into like a more into a more like adult state of mind? Like, that's weird. Like let them find it out on their own. Like that's about it. Like it goes into the conversation topic of it's good to let your kids know certain things, but it's how much they need to know it. Now, a kid shouldn't be coming home saying, "Oh my God, mommy or daddy, like I saw a guy give birth. Like I never knew a guy could give birth. Like, oh my God." Now, if you come on home and you coming home from work and you had your long day at work, and you hear your child saying, "Oh my God, like guys could give birth." Now, hold on, because I feel overwhelmed already trying to explain this situation. Now, to look at your child that just heard this information and thinks like, "Oh my God, this is so cool," because you know how it was when you were younger. You found out some real cool information that like you never knew was possible. That is possible because the child has always been getting told like, "Oh, males can't give birth." So now for a child to hear that a male can give birth, they're gonna be so like, "Oh my God, wow." So now to break down to your kid, like, "Oh, what you saw on TV is fake, all this." Now kids have questions and they're gonna be there asking you, like, "But how did they get the belly big? How did they do this? How did they do that?" You know how kids explain. So is this gonna be a whole thing like, yeah, you can explain to your child, like, yeah, that's fake, that's movies, they can make things look away. Yeah, you could get into your child's head, like, yeah, what you saw is not real. Only women can give birth. Only women can get the big belly with the baby in it. Like, yeah, and that's about it. Like, it shouldn't be a bunch of extra stuff to have them like just questioning stuff and being and like getting like all confused in their head. Just let them be kids, please. That's about it. Just let them be kids. Like, there's no like, for example, when you want to rush people to be an adult, when you want to rush people to like do a certain thing, it always doesn't work out to their advantage. You rushing them. So why do it? Like, I know for a fact if you ask a bunch of parents, like did a survey on 100 parents, I know majority of those parents be like, I wouldn't want certain things being taught to my kids. Like I would rather do it. I would rather, when the time is right, like let them know about that and have that conversation. Like, I was even saying, like, me being a parent, I was like, my first conversation to my kid would be about um protection against sex and all this and like what's bad out there and all those things that could possibly like hurt them like sexually and like trying to experiment with other kids like, hey, like you really don't do this because like you don't want to get in trouble, and then somebody like says something on you that you didn't really do, so you'll be very careful and mindful first. And then like, if you are going to like venture into that and like do something with somebody, like you always have to use protection and make sure y'all both agree on it. And when anybody says no, you stop. Now, I'm not gonna tell my 7 year old this. I'm not gonna tell my 6 year old this. Your kid is like about 10 and 11. Like, that age when I know when I started like experiencing with other kids that were my age. I was 10, 11, I want around the 10, 11 to be like, you know, like start enforcing this whole thing of like, it's okay if you like somebody and y'all kiss, but like just kissing and like holding hands, and like try and see how much they know, because I don't want to be like, "Oh yeah," and tell them something that's like adult and then that goes south. You get what I'm saying? Like, how much do you know? Like, what do y'all do? What would you do with in your like little like relationship with this person that you like? Like, yeah, just holding hands and like being nice to each other. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, don't be scared. Like, tell them like, I'm here for you. Like, just voice it out to your child. And then as they start getting up there, like you don't have to be like the birds and the bees and all this. You just gotta be like, boy and a girl. Just moving forward. Like, always act, so on and so forth. Yada yada yada. Now, if they look at you puzzled, just be like, what are you confused about? Like, just reassure to them, like if you have something you want to tell me, like, don't be scared. Keep it moving forward. But like, if the school tells them it, now they have to say how they feel in front of a whole class. Some people won't, some people will. Now, those kids that are being vocal about themselves, what happens if they get bullied or like they get hurt? At least when you tell your parent, it's just between you and your parent. Y'all can fix that. Y'all can like fix the situation now. Let's say you're up in the class and you say, "Oh, like I like I like this boy." There's nothing wrong with the same sex liking somebody. There's nothing wrong with it. Love is love. But you know, in school, kids are mean. Kids are judgmental. You know how society is. Society doesn't like LGBT. Like, what happens then? Now that starts a whole like, oh, you're this, you're that. Let's bully you. Like, nah, just leave it out of school. Y'all all be good. Just leave it out of school. Y'all be Gucci. Be fine. Because kids are mean. Everybody's trying to fit in. And I know one thing for a fact. What I see in schools a bit still is LGBT still gets bullied. So it shouldn't be a thing where people, where your kids like, if you know what you are, great. If you don't, leave it. Like school should not be enforcing that. Leave it at that. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's on their own path. Some people are able to voice their. Some kids are able to voice their opinions to their parents and let them know like there's some kids from a young age that let their parents know like, hey, I don't feel like a boy, I don't feel like a girl, like I feel different, or hey, I like boys, I like girls, mom, like dad, like this is this, you know. We say they're confused, we scold them, we do certain things to our children, but at the end of the day, when your kid is like, think of it as this: your kid trusts you, and your kid is secure around you. So the same way you don't want the school teaching your kid certain things when it's your time as a parent to teach your kid, be open, be there for them. Because the reason why some schools implement this whole thing of teaching kids certain stuff is because they don't learn it at home. The parents don't know it. The parents are closed off. The parents are this. The parents are that. So some states feel like it's the school's job to teach the kids this. While in some other states like Florida, they're like, nah, it's not your job to teach kids does. The parents teach the kid it. And I agree with that. Like the parents need to teach it. Because only you know how to talk to your kid. Yeah, there's people who are great teachers, great counselors that can what's gonna call it? Um you don't want something to be a situation where it's like you tell the child too much and the child like misinterprets it and is like it's like you're forcing them to do something. That wouldn't be great. Okay? So in general, everybody needs to just leave stuff to the parents. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Like what do you believe in? Like you have your kid, like how would you like it to go? Would you want the schools to tell them about sexual orientation and explain like gay, straight, um, trans, asexual, and all this to your kid in grades second, third, fourth, fifth? Or would you rather them just live their childhood like we all did and just experience it in like college or high school, however it may be, when they're at the age? I believe it should be at the age, high school, college. I don't believe it should be in third, fifth. Nah, they should be talking about like identity and orientation, like late high school, mostly college. Not no third, not no second grader, not no first grader. Like, just no. That's not it. Just live their
Just live their
childhood.
childhood.
I'll say just live their childhood because I know a lot of parents that force their kids like to not go outside and play, to just be down in books, just to be like the super smartest kid. They don't really play video games or anything. And then when the kid gets to a teenager, the kid rebels and like yeah, they still like doing their schoolwork and everything, but they're going out and doing things behind the parents' back because the parents like shun them from their childhood. You get what I'm saying? So just let the kid live their life. Don't force anything upon the child. And just make sure they're learning, make sure they got the support system in check if something happens. If they come to you and tell you, like, hey, I'm this, I'm that, it's time for the parents to open up the conversation. Now, we're not going to tell your whole kid, a whole college class of what sexual orientation is and all this. But when your kid says it to you as a parent, it's your job to open the door a tiny little bit and start explaining things a little bit. And now we have a Langqua Fashion
And this
Boutique,
segment,
At
our
Olanqua Fashion
sponsor.
Boutique, we believe that being stylish doesn't have to be hard. That's why we're committed to providing
Why is it so
hassle-free shopping to
loud?
fashionistas around the world. We offer a wide selection of
My mic
premium
is right
men's,
here.
women's, and children's wear, and accessories like shoes, bags, and tights. Best of all, we'll ship all items directly to your door in just a few clicks. And that is why we give 10% of our monthly revenue to feed the kids' foundation, so you can shop and make. Visit olanquanfashionboutique.com to get started.
You like my giraffe mic? My mic is like a giraffe. You see how it extends its neck? I just love it. Mm. So what's your opinion on this? You got 20 minute worth of talk time. Put it in. Let's go.
Well,
Oh wait, you don't. Oh, okay. I messed up my hair. Huh?
well, I've given my opinion on the matter. What my opinion.
Oh, I have a better. I have a better topic that we can
How
go with.
was there anybody that has any different share any different opinion, any different what's been said?
Everybody's just agreeing with what we have to say. I'll say, parents. Now let's switch it on to parents' rights and parents' households. Now, I feel like your little third, fourth, and fifth grader shouldn't be on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat with all this sex and all this and seeing people twerking and all this A through Z. Like if this Amazon ship it to everything, your child should not be on these social media platforms seeing everything A through Z. Because when I was in freaking elementary, there was people on MySpace, Facebook showing fighting videos, showing people grinding up on each other. I'm like, bro, what? It type made me ghetto, but sorry, but I just
But
have to
those
call
things,
it out.
because you have it on, because the social media is no rampant.
No,
But
no, no,
these
no, no,
things
no,
are what
no.
has been going on. Maybe you have not seen it here in America, but these things are what we grew up and see.
For example, what I mean by parents, right, with technology, you have to be very careful what you do with your kid with letting them touch this iPad from the age of like 1 all the way up to like the age of 5. Because, for example, I know a coworker somewhere. Her son has been on an iPad like ever since he's young. He knows how to order with her credit card, and he's like 3. Knows how to go on Amazon, buy what he wants, everything like that. So you saying when these kids have a little sexual urge, so young, right? Doesn't have to be 3, whatever age it is. If you know how to use an iPad so well, don't you think you're gonna go and search up all these things? And it's like we as parents are hurting our own kid
No,
because
okay, this is where parenting comes in,
parental controls
because
on Safari,
a lot of
Google
parent,
Chrome.
a lot of I don't like use the word parent because there's not a lot of parent. Parent is a title, not many of the title.
You could be a
They are
good parent
mothers.
or a bad
No,
parent.
no, there's no. They are just mother. They're just man and woman come together and have kids. Has nothing to do with parenting. They
But
don't
there's
even
not.
know what's parenting
We
is.
can't really come at them.
But
There's no
no, I'm not
parenting
coming at
book.
them. Neither can I lie on them and give them a name that's not theirs.
Huh?
So they are mother. They have been through motherhood. So you have. This is where you have to have good parenting skills comes in, because a lot of mother have the kids, and to get rid of the duty, they just give them an iPad to lock them out. Take an iPad and put it over your ears, and you think you can talk and say whatever you want to say because the child is stupid enough to always have this over their ears. Not gonna take it off and ever listen, turn it off and
Yeah, I
outsmart
hate
you,
those parents.
and you just leave the kids
I
there with
hate
the
those men
iPad.
and women. My bad.
Now, when you leave these kids with the iPad, they're open up to every and anything. Not to say you shouldn't give your child an iPad or a technology equipment, but make sure they are secure for kids only,
It's not even just that. I don't feel
because they
like
can privacy, you can restrict certain things from
yes,
it.
you can. It's not only just that, but why are you building a kid that if you take the device away from them, they're hysterically crying and they're so dependent on the device. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you have 30 minutes to an hour to watch your show or play your game, and then we're going outside. Like your kids are
That's just
supposed to be
downright
active.
spoiling kids. That's different. That's just downright
Hold
spoiling.
on, we can't
You take
wait.
a thing from a child and child cry feet to
Hold,
give it back.
but
That's just
that's not
spoiling.
you doing your job as a parent. You're just being a man and a woman because we can't sit here and blame the state for trying to teach our kids sexual education when we're giving the kid the iPad and the computer and they know how to search this stuff all on themselves and all this. Like,
I think it's fair
Come
to say
on.
you have good parents who spoil the kid.
I wish my parents taught me how to use that 1999 Microsoft 97 version because damn, I don't even know how to play solitaire on that thing. They did not even teach me how to go into the internet. I just go on it and play my game.
Well, whatever they didn't do, it turned out well because they well.
My parents did
And
not
you
teach
didn't
me
got
how to use the
arrested, you wasn't out on
computer.
the street.
I was so scared of that computer,
So
bro.
be grateful of how they raised you.
I want my kid to be like
Apart
me when
from
I
being
grow up.
spoiled,
I want my kid to grow up like me. When they're on the computer, they're like, oh my god, it's the best thing, but I can get away from
But
it.
for instance, my niece, one of my nieces has she know how to go on. We were speaking about it this morning. Be very careful because he's 5 years old and she knows her father. She's quick to let anybody.
Who her
You know who
father
my
is.
father
Yeah,
is?
just leave it right there. Yeah.
You know who my father is? And she 5 years old. And he's even though for instance, let me tell you how these kids smart. She get $100 go to school. 5 years old in Jamaica for lunch money because he wanted to teach her money management and how to spend, collect it, get $100 to life experience every day. Right.
How
Did you
much
get
is
in
that?
exchange before?
How much are like down there? Like 10 cents?
$100
$5?
maybe can buy like a snack.
Just wonders. I like, okay,
One
what is a
snack.
$100? That's oh, okay, that's like $1.
$100 no, $100 less than $1.
So what does it correspond to? Like
$1 here is $150.
I know that, but what is a
So
hundred?
like
What's
90
a
cents
hundred
here,
value over there?
like
Like, can you
90
buy like a
cents.
chips, a water, like?
Yeah, like a chip.
Okay, so it could do something. How much is like little candy? Like 10 cents? Like what?
Okay, in other words, he's giving her like 50.
I'm crying. And Sweetie outsmarted. I'm crying.
But
I love her. I love Sweetie.
so get 100 Jamaican dollars to take. And he's buying a lot of sweeties.
Right, we're gonna use the right word,
And
sweeties.
He don't like that. Just like my mom, we don't mess with this.
We
No,
not
too
trying.
sweet,
We not
not
trying
good
to
for your
take you
teeth
right. We
and-
not trying to take you to the dentist to have you crying.
But as kids, we love sweet.
and don't like brushing
So
your
she
teeth.
went against what he bought. Whole pack of candy, money, no change, straight candy.
I love her. I love
So he
her.
punish her, and the punishing is stop getting the $100. Even though she get the $100, her lunch is already everything is already paid for at school. So he took the 100, stop giving her the $100 as a punishment, send her off to school. Can I tell you how she went to school and just use his name and get everything and anything that she want? Because again, the teachers know who the father is, and she's very. We've been telling her, letting him know, listen, she needs to stop saying that because she's very bold. Do you know who my father is?
I love
So
her.
she went and
She's
she
mean.
collect a whole, and she came back and
She's
tell her,
mean.
so, my father asked her how she eat.
I need my kids to be
um,
like that.
I ate it, Daddy. I don't need your money.
Oh my god, I need that.
You know I can use your name and get anything from the school.
I want my kid to say that to me so I can look at them and be like, so you know the allowance money I give you, I'm gonna take it and pay them back, sweetie. I love her so much.
She thinks she's so slick. She came home, she's still buying candy because he gave in and gave her the $100. She thinks she's so slick, she's still buying candy. Eat off the candy this time now. She don't wanna come home with the candy for evidence. But as she reached home, she realized that she opened her mouth and she looked on the phone talking to her father doing a video. Oh, the evidence. So as she started talking on the camera, she just turned to her dad. Hey, daddy, I eat a lot of blue Pringles today. Blue Pringles. There's no such blue Pringles, but she's trying to use her. It's a kids are smart if you don't know what you're doing. They will manipulate the way out and stuff. Just goes to show again. Certain things have to believe. Have to leave.
Gotta
You
leave
just have to
certain
leave it
things.
out. Yes.
Okay, we got 10 more minutes. What's it about life?
So we're down 10 minutes on the hour. You join us midday, weekdays, Eastern Standard Time for daily podcast via OBC Radio.
We just gotta come on.
And as you know, it's titled I Just Wanna Be Free. It's OBC Radio, and of course, we can't be here and not play our artist song. OBC Radio is available on Alexa. The artist name is Latina. The song is called Boom. Boom by Latina. Her name is spelled Lateena. Streaming on all platforms. YouTube, SoundCloud, And you know we have to support the artists, they must support us. Sparama, girl best friend. Yes, so you know we want to for all the listeners out there, those who have tuned in, this YouTube, come winding down to the end of another podcast. Join us weekdays, midday Eastern Standard Time, OBC Radio. You can find our app in the Google Play Store, OBC Radio. You can tune in on Alex's device, and within a few days, it will be available. And thank you. We have news on the top of the hour. Every hour, continue tuning into OBC.